It is time for the phone-in segment. Like my colleague said, we're going to be talking about taxes. We're going to be talking about the latest tax reform bill that has everyone talking. But before we get into details of that with our guests, where we'll double back on that conversation, we'd love to pick your brains a little. We want to know what you understand by it, how it makes you feel, everything you've seen in the news, how I've been able to process it. What do you understand by it? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Now, the federal government's proposed tax reform bills have been making headlines, sparking intense debates across the country and across the nation. President Bola Tinub's administration aims to overhaul Nigeria's tax system, streamlining administration, eliminating multiple taxation, and enhancing efficiencies. Now, some of the key proposals surrounding this include VAT redistribution, so derivation-based VAT distribution model, we get to that. New revenue service, renaming FIRS to the Nigerian Revenue Service, NRS. Okay. Joint Revenue Board, coordinating tax effort between federal, state, and local government. Now, there have been several fears and concerns. For concerns, northern states fear reduced revenue and economic hardship. Business owners worry about tax burdens. Middle class fear higher cost of living, because we've seen that it's going to be increased, from 7.5%, 10% to 7.5%, and then by coming year it's going to get to 12.5%, then gradually to 15%. So there's a gradual increase where you get to pay more. For instance, if you're paying 100 naira, for something now, just add 10% to it. That is what you're going to be paying more for that. The 10% goes to the federal government for tax. So definitely things are going to increase, and that's the fear for higher cost of living. Remember, in all of this, we still have the fuel subsidy removal and the rate of insecurity in the nation and the floating of the naira. All of these are still coming to play with what we're going to experience with the taxation. Now, potential gains which people are looking at: simplified tax obligation and easier compliance, increased revenue for state and local government. I'll put a clause to that, because increased revenue, does it translate to, increased development? We'll get to that now. Economic growth, encouraging investment and employment. But before we get to all the details of that, we want to hear from you. What do you know about the ongoing tax, reform? What are your thoughts on it? How do you feel about it? How do you think it's going to affect you as a Nigerian? We'd love to pick your brain a little in our conversation this morning. And while we're at it, let's try to keep our conversation civil. Air your thoughts in a very civil way. We understand that such things could stir up emotion, and it's okay to have such emotions, but do well to air your thoughts in a very civil manner, and let's avoid use of languages that we wouldn't want to use on a normal day. Share your thoughts and concerns. Call us to the numbers shown on your screen at the moment. Text us via WhatsApp, or you could tweet using hashtag Daybreak Tax Reform. Find a way to join in on the conversation, because we'd definitely love to hear your thoughts. The phone lines are open, and let's keep the calls coming. Now, on this tax reform, people have had, first of all, there have been lots of misinformation, and that is due to, I've been wanting to say this, that is due to the lack of proper education from the National Orientation Agency. Yes, we are calling them out right now. What have you done to break this down for every Nigerian, even the ones in local government, to have a pamphlet in their local language or local dialect, explaining it to them with facts and numbers? Because a lot of people are moving on information that are not correct, or based on sentiments. Maybe your leader is coming out to say this based on how he feels about it. Might not be what is there, might just be how he feels about it. Nigerians need to have the details for themselves so they can make their judgment and assertions and hold their opinion based on what they're seeing. So what is being done to break this down to the barest minimum? I would say the media are doing their best in trying to explain it, but we have an agency that's responsible for this. What is being done to break this down to help people understand it? It's sad that we see this happening at this point in time. Different opinions, different misunderstanding and misinformation regarding this tax reform is going on, because people do not understand it to a certain level.
And it affects everything. There are times where government would come and defend and say, we are not telling this out because we need to protect the secrecy, Example, we're talking about security, where you cannot talk about what the security agencies are planning against, the bandits and all of that. But then when it comes to tax reform, everybody is meant to pay. It involves everybody. So you should go out of your way to make sure you enlighten people on that. Let's pick our first call. Good morning. Good morning. Do we still have the caller on the line? All right, make sure you call any of the numbers on your devices, and you can send WhatsApp message via the first one. And let's not forget that you can also follow us about social media, where you would tweet, but then using hashtag Daybreak Tax Reform. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, your name and where you're calling us from.
My name is Mahmoud Aminu.
Mahmoud, it's good to have you. Where are you calling us from?
Yeah, I am calling from Jigawa.
Okay, good to have you from Jigawa. Let's hear your take on what you think the tax reform means, the bill.
Yeah, the truth is this tax reform is a welcoming development. It is that the problem has always been our northern people. We are the problem of Nigeria.
Okay.
Most especially the governors that are rejecting this tax reform. It is because they don't know the importance of this tax thing. You see, they have been traveling to other countries like Saudi Arabia, Egypt. All those countries, they are also paying tax. So we should be sincere to ourselves. Without this tax, a lot of things will not work out for Nigerians. It is the right time for Nigerians or the northern part to embrace this tax issue so that Nigeria can move to the next level.
Okay.
So that is it. So the truth is, we need to try as much as possible to look into this tax issue so that Nigeria can move to the next level without any sentiment.
All right, Mahmoud, that is great as a thing you said, without sentiment, but I would wish that you stick, through to the end of the show. That way you'll be more enlightened on, the tax reform. Yesterday I spoke with our newspaper reviewer, Dr. Theophilus Abba, and he pointed out that if two enlightened people, because these people contesting, this bill are also enlightened. So if two enlightened people are pushing for opposite, take, then there must be something to it. And he advised the president should go back and sit down and look at what these concerns are in order to address them. But then we'll come back to that, hopefully. Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Yeah, your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Abubakar. I'm calling from Nasarawa.
Abdullah from Nasarawa State. Let's hear your take. Understanding of the tax reform bill.
Hello?
Yes, are you with us?
Do we still have Abdullah in the line?
I think we lost Abdullah.
Uh-oh. Abdullah, do well to call us back. We'd love to know what it is you understand and, what you know about the ongoing tax reform. Now, from what our first caller said, it's going to, we've seen the cons of it, which is more of potential gains, increased revenue for state and local government generations, which totally makes sense because at this point it's going to make state governors to sit up. If you want this money, you have to work hard, develop your state and make the money so your revenue would increase. The revision is now 60%, so you have to work hard, which is a positive light of it I'm looking at. Let's take this call. Good morning. What's your name or where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning. My name is Engineer Idris. I'm calling from Kaduna.
Good morning, Engineer. I heard Engineer alone, but I didn't hear the other part. But thank you for joining us.
Engineer Idris.
Engineer Idris. All right, Engineer Idris.
Yeah,
it's good to have you on the show.
So much.
Go ahead. Let's hear your thoughts.
It's quite unfortunate. I want to quickly, before I make my own remark, take resentment, total exception to what the last caller just said. It's quite unfortunate. I think the governors knew more than he knew. If the governors are any revenue, more than probably what they are saying now, and they're now saying that no, it's going to affect our people, I think they know where the shoe pinches. So if they are rejecting this bill, they know what they're talking about. For any caller to come in to begin to say, the governor, I think that one is just by the way. One. Secondly, for me, as far as I'm concerned, I think we are doing practical democracy in Nigeria. Democracy says it is government for the people, by the people, just like it has been said. When the government first came in to say they are removing fuel subsidy, between the time they remove fuel subsidy to this moment, Nigeria has continuously said they do not want the fuel subsidy and the government should take it off. And he insisted it's going to be palliatives, it's going to bring some succor to the people and all of that. Me and you know today, no relief anybody has gotten. Rather, it has increased taxes. If government is now saying that it's going to bring up a tax bill or whatever, and members of National Assembly, as we speak today, over 80% of members are saying no, this tax bill should be relaxed for the moment until such a time that Nigeria will study properly. Other bills like the petroleum industry bill that had become an act today, it lingered on for several years before eventually, government took its stance on it because people debated it and they saw the pros and cons. If this tax bill has anything good for this country, government should be able to carry a while, allow this bill to go around, let the general of Nigerians debate it, and of course, come up with a properly resolution as to how to face this issue. I think government is deliberately trying to emasculate the views and whatever of the people because it is all what they want and what they want to benefit. Me, I have looked at the tax bill, the part of it, and I have listened to people a lot. The way I manage the thing comes, certain sections of this country is precisely legal. It's going to benefit more than any other person. But take it away, even if it's not sectional. The fact that Nigerians have said, for God's sake, allow this bill to relax. Let it just go away to Puna. Let's see how we're able to do all of that. More money government has earned today. How well has it impacted on the people? I think this is key. These are some of the elements we should look at. How much money government have realized? A lot of money. Just look at last month. 2 years ago, in September, they shared 1.2 trillion naira across the state, government, local government, federal government, and all of that. Last month, October, they shared 1.4 trillion plus to the state, federal government, and all of that. This money that is coming in, how well have they impacted this dividend to the people? I think this is what is key. So it is not the fact that government wants more money. No, government just wants to further emasculate the people, get certain people to benefit more from this. It is not because of taxes. We have taxed enough. Even IMF and World Bank, they are smiling to the bank because they know Nigeria has become gullible, where we have certain leaders that allow themselves to be used to emasculate the wishes of the people. So finally, I think for me, government are listening, they know what they're doing. Certain sections of the country are listening, they know what they're doing. The geopolitical, everybody has spoken specifically in all of this. I think the general view of Nigeria is that please relax this bill. So if the president actually feels the pulse of the people, you should for God's sake relax this bill. Let's start a while. Let's see what comes us in the near future. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Engineer Idris. Appreciate that. Detailed. It's always good, when you know that Nigerians are enlightened, like they read, they make sure, that's one of our keynotes here on the show. Make sure you understand what's going on in your country. That way you can participate, really well. So basically, Lilian, he said what he thinks about the tax reform, saying this is a concern from the northern part, and even other, sub-nationals complaining about how it would favor countries that already have talking about companies that remit VAT. And the major problem in all of this bill is that VAT. Saying before federal government is going to take 10% or 15%, the governors would take about 50%, and then local governments are supposed to be taking 35%. So with all of that, it's going to change. And that changing is what is scary because it comes with a lot of clauses that would favor states that already have companies that remit the VAT. We're talking about Ogun State, Lagos State, and also River State. Good morning.
Good morning, my sister. How are you doing this morning?
Fine, thank you. Your name and where you're calling
Yes,
from?
my name is Ebek Odike. I'm calling from Port Harcourt, River State.
Okay, it's good to have you from Port Harcourt. Let's hear your understanding of the tax reform bill.
Yes, I believe the tax reform bill is in order because personally, I don't criticize somebody that is doing well. This morning, I want to encourage the federal government to go ahead and remove inhuman face on it. Because I believe that the tax reform bill will make people to work hard and stop looting and embezzlement. I think with this tax reform bill, the state governors can go into the villages, find out the mineral resources that can help their state work hard to meet up. Because I think some people some people in the north have, because in oil industry we use barite, bentonite, we use goat, we use mica, all those things are full in the north. They can harness it, and I heard that there is gold. They can harness it. Gold is costlier than oil. So, and the Chinese, there are people that are thinking that they will not do well. It's not criticism every day. Let them allow it to be, so that we will see the reason why the federal government doing things like that. But I want to advise the federal government to remove inhuman face on it. because let it not be a way of bullying or a way of making money for the rich, a way of getting more money to buy yachts, buy flights, make National Assembly members to be comfortable, while our children are studying under mango tree, sitting on top of block, and their athletes are not seeing it. They're asking us to be patient. Patient is not how their children are being patient in abroad, in the best schools in the world. I think they should make this government to have a person. Thank you, God bless you.
All right, thank you very much. You seem very passionate about this, and we really appreciate it. Now, I understand where, different opinions do matter.
And it's allowed.
It's allowed. But what I've gotten to understand about this tax bill, hence the reason why several opinions have been surrounding it, is formally, the sharing of, revenue was a stage where, you had equality. Everybody brings in this money. It's being shared equally. A certain percentage went to equality. I think it was 50%. Thereabout. Equality share takes the most. Then you have population, which everybody, according to the highest population, makes the most. Takes the most from the revenue. And then you had derivation. The derivation was based on how much you generate and how much you brought. Derivation was the lowest at 20%. But now, derivation is the highest at 60%, with equality and population at 20% each. So your population does not guarantee you will get the most money. What guarantees you get the most money is derivation.
It's how much you
bring into the table. That now has a two clause to it. How much you bring into the table, how much are you able to generate in your states. Now, most companies have their headquarters in Lagos and Ogun. Hence, if this money is being made, they are paying their value-added tax to Lagos, which increases Lagos generation.
Advantage.
In turn, increases their derivation.
Even though the goods and services are being consumed in. And the
so why? Let's bring this money, this VAT, let it come from this state that is consuming it. Let the headquarters send their own. Let us send our own. Then we can calculate derivation. That's one part. The second part is develop your state and make money.
I think it's like Nigerians are saying it's good, but some Nigerians, it's good, but not now. While others are saying, no, we just have to do it now. I think that explains what's going on. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes, your name and where you're calling from.
My name is Abdulaziz Idris. I'm calling here from Abuja.
Abdulaziz from Abuja. Let's hear your take.
Yes. This tax reform definitely have now hit up the polity because different people, different opinions. Some people understand it, some people do not understand it. But some were looking at that just maybe north but south. No, it wasn't like that. The issue is, if you look at other parts of the tax reform, for you and me, is good. You understand? Because people that earn a little are not going to pay any money for us in tax. But why the problem, why the controversy come, why the pushback, and all this up and down is because of the sharing formula. It's like you, the two of you there and me here. They give me maybe 3 pack of biscuits. We should share. Earlier on, when we used to share this biscuit, 1. When I collected the 3 biscuits, I will take 1. I will give you Lilian one. Lilian is her name, Abi.
Yes.
And the other one, the other lady, you. I will also give you 1. So now the new tax reform bill is that when I collected the 3 biscuits now, I'll keep 2 for myself. Then the remaining 1 pack of biscuits, that's the one I will come and share together with the 2 of you. And if we share it also, out of it, I have, if I took 1, I give maybe 4 inside. So now, when we take 3, you see there's 1 remaining. That remaining 1 will also come to me. So you have, despite the fact I keep 2 packs in my pocket. Now we are sharing the other pack of the biscuit together with you. You can see, I think all of you will not be happy with that. The Lagos State now is going to be having over 60% of this money. When the money is collected, 60% will go to Lagos. Then the remaining other states will share the rest and local government. See, let me tell you, in the long run, it's not even about north, even in the southeast, even in the north central, even in the south. There were said that they contribute a little out of this back. And let me tell you one thing,
many states cannot be able to pay salary. The worst is even the local government, that it's like you give them autonomy and you give them autonomy with the right hand and you are collecting it with the left hand. That's why the problem is.
Yeah.
This is where the tax reform bill needs to be looked upon. That's why governors rejected it. That's why the House of Rep members and other committees all rejected it. There is something fishy. And why are they rushing? Why can't they do it? Let people understand it publicly before you go into it. They need to look at it together. Do wider consultation. You understand? So that's my take. Thank you very much, Trustee.
Truly appreciate. Thank you so much. Truly appreciate your take. We are putting it out there, of course, to do our own part as media, and it's great that as individuals, you're also doing your own part for your country, explaining it further for people that might not really understand it. But then, yeah, in everything, it's just like when we say, when you're standing at the bank of a river, you're standing over there, you see a 6, I'm standing here, I'm seeing a 9. So there is no wrong to it. But then at the end of the day, this is what democracy moves for, majority. We have to go with what majority are saying. But hence the reason why conversations like this are really nice to have. But based on his understanding, one of the things we concerns about it is the fact that governors keep saying we will not be able to pay salaries if at all this bill passes through. And mind you, you are aware, Lilian, that currently there are a lot of governors that are still not really paying workers as you should. Some people will tell you they've gone 5-6 months without being paid their salaries. It's still happening in Nigeria. So imagine now if this reform goes through. Even though I have always been pushing, asking our governors, what have you been doing? Why are you not being innovative? As example, I'm using the northern part because there are over 19 states. The northern part of the country for the longest time do not even have any industry going on. What is happening? How are you not being creative to think about how to create all of this? So that's a really scary situation, and it's putting them on their toes. Good morning. Good morning. Do we still have the caller?
Yeah.
Okay, good morning. Your name and where you're calling us from?
Good morning. My name is Omar Bashir from Kogi State.
Oh, good to have you from Kogi. Let's hear your understanding of the bill.
Yeah. My argument in this tax reform bill, you have clearly explained it. The sharing formula, which is equality, population, and derivation. When you are taking equality means 50% will be shared across the 36 states, including FCT. Then everybody will get equal one. Then populations, you talk about population, then they give a population 30%, while derivation is 20%. Now, this derivation that they have given 60% now, did you know how the Lagos, Ogun State, and Rivers State become big in having a derivation? Because during the Second World War, during the Civil War in 1960, it was the closing of the eastern coast that opened the western coast, so that the eastern will not get advantage of getting weapon again. That what made Lagos the advantage in all this derivation. Lagos and Ogun State. What did they use to develop River State, our refinery? It was the groundnut they generated from the north. It was the groundnut. And the textile from the north they used to develop our refinery. Now, if you wanted to shortchange the north, people should just come with realistic, because if this is the tax reform bill, the one that suited the masses, they come first. So the hidden agenda in this tax reform is just restructuring in disguise. That's what tinubu is just after. Restructuring in disguise. Tax. Is this all about tax? Where are we heading to? Even the World Bank and the IMF that we are taking that is advising us in our economic reform, I'm saying that the policy is not working. Why are we in haste? The petroleum trust reform bill, how many years before it was passed in the National Assembly? Why are we in hurry? Why are we in haste? Let's do more consultations. Let's do more consultation on this tax reform bill. Because it's not just that about the north. Come to Ekiti State and come to other states in the far east. They will just be talking about the north. The north will buckle up. Let's see what will happen at the end of the day. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. I like the way he broke it down. It shows that he understands it. And then when he came from the part of saying that, resources from the north were used to, at the risk of we've moved on. What are governors? I had a conversation with, I keep forgetting his name, but he was here. And he said something that stuck to me. He said, let's go to Adamawa. Do you know how well those women produce groundnut oil with their hands?
Absolutely.
Why is it not being invested in? Let's go to Kaduna.
Okay, I think I remember
you have lots
that
of tech guys in Kaduna. Why are they not being invested in? The governors know each state. He came, even Cross River State is on that list. When Donald Duke was the governor of Cross River, he invested in tourism and it was generating revenue. Those structures are dead. He said, okay, let's leave tourism. Palm oil, pineapple, those are things that are evident in Cross River that could be invested into. Each state has the ability to actually generate resources that can even sustain that state. But where is the political will of the leaders? Brings us down to holding your governors accountable. Let us have governors who are willing to work to develop their state. Leave the share. You develop it so much that you really don't need to depend on the sharing formula, on the federal. That is why they are doing this. Don't depend on us. Generate your resources one way or another to build your state. The allocation is just going to be an addition to whatever it is you're making. That is it. It has a disadvantage, probably not coming at the right time. The point I'm seeing on this clearly is that part of governors, wake up. Indeed. You're not just coming there to sit and flaunt money. Local government chairman, you have been given autonomy. Wake up. It's time to work. Indeed. The next thing you should even do is to slash cost of governance. So
all right. I mean, a lot of conversations still around here, but we'll definitely bring you up to speed with exactly what it entails. So make sure you stick with us. So we'll have to wrap up this segment because excited to jump into the next segment, which would also continue with this, where we're bringing a public commentator that would give us deep dive into what the tax reform bill of 2024 entails. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.